Good morning. Darla real estate agent in South Louisiana with Real Broker. Out on the road this morning for a couple of trainings that we have in Lafayette. Lots of times people say to me, it seems like you're so busy. Look, I choose my busy. The great thing about being self-contracted, self-employed, not having a boss per se, is that I get to decide what I do with my time. And so I get to decide what's on my calendar. And so for me, before I put anything on my calendar, I'm thinking about, number one, is it going to help you, the community, in any way, shape, or form? Is it going to help me help you buy or sell? And so when I think about things that I put on my calendar, the most important thing to me is it going to benefit buyers and sellers, right? And so today I'm going to a training. The first one is actually on real estate safety, and the second one is artificial intelligence and marketing. So those should be really interesting. As you know, I was in education for 20 years before I got into real estate, so I absolutely believe that we should never stop learning. I love to learn new things, so on my way to a training today. So let's talk about selling. I get that question all the time, is it a good time to be a seller? And this is what you have to think about. If you're thinking about selling now, tomorrow, in the next few weeks or next few months, are you motivated? That's the most important thing. Are you motivated to sell? Because it is not fun. It is not easy. It is a whole lot of work on the front end. It is a whole lot of preparation on the front end. If you're not one of those people who is just going to throw a for sale sign in the front yard and say a prayer that it sells. And listen, if you use me to help you prepare to sell, then you're going to know what to do ahead of time. You're going to have all the hard work ahead of time. And then once it hits the market, the hardest thing for you to do as a seller is keep it show ready. So what I like to say is, listen, let's list it at fair market value so that it shows hopefully a couple of times early on, and then once it goes into contract, you can go back to living your life, right? So is it a good time to be a seller? It's a good time to be a seller if you are ready, if you are all in, if you're really ready to sell, and if you have a place to go. You have to have a place to go. And if you're very flexible about on where that place is to go, that's fine. That is super fine. And if you need to put your house on the market in order to buy your next house, listen, that's absolutely doable too. What I say to people is, listen, when you have a real estate agent on your side who knows what they're doing, then you should feel safe. You should feel secure in knowing that they're going to get the job done. So when you're looking to sell, look for someone who you know closes lots and lots and lots of transactions, because that means they know what they're doing. If you have a realtor that shows up at your house and doesn't give you a list of suggestions of things that you should do to get your house ready to sell, then you need to interview somebody else. Listen, a monkey can put a lockbox on a door and a sign in the front yard. You don't need a real estate agent to do that. What you need is a real estate agent who's going to go in and say, look, this is dirty, paint needs to be touched up, this window is cracked, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And listen, if you as the seller choose not to do it, that's absolutely your right. They should be recommendations from the realtor, not mandates by any means. So when you are ready to sell, know that you need someone in your court that's going to say, listen, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And the main reason for all these things to be done is because when your house hits the market, ready to sell, You don't want it sitting on the market for months and months and months and months and months. You want it to hit the market capable of meeting every kind of standard with every loan type. So for example, if your house hits the market and a veteran is pre-approved with a VA loan and your house has peeling paint, cracked windows, missing handrails on the steps, that person is probably not even going to look at your house if it's evident in pictures that it wasn't taken care of, because they know they're wasting their time. As a person that is pre-approved from the buy standpoint, I would say probably 95% of people that I deal with that are ready to buy a house today have some kind of government loan, which means a VA loan, a USDA loan, an RD loan, an FHA loan. The vast majority of buyers have that kind of loan. So you as the seller want to make sure that when your house hits the market, every kind of pre-approved buyer can go look at your house. So you don't have peeling paint, you don't have broken windows, you don't have missing handrails, you don't have missing shingles, you don't have those kinds of things. And y'all, that's not anything to make the house per se look pretty. That's for it to pass a government loan appraisal. People ask me all the time as a seller, is my house going to pass an inspection? An inspection and an appraisal are two totally different things. And there's no such thing as pass, fail. No such thing. So as a seller, when I'm working with you, what I'm going to say to you is, listen, when an inspector, the buyer has the right to have your house inspected, and they absolutely will. 99% of buyers have a house inspected. You as the seller want to make sure that your house is in such great condition that, number one, a buyer wants to submit an offer because they can tell that you really, really, really took care of your house. You're proud of your house. You did all the things to make sure that it's in great condition, right? And then when the buyer has an inspector walk through the house, you want that inspector to feel like you have taken amazing care of your house. And so that inspector is not going to be so inclined to really, really, really investigate and look for issues that maybe they wouldn't look for if your house was in pristine condition. And listen, I know it's hard. It's hard. We live in our houses, right? We work in our houses. It's hard to keep our houses show ready. And that's why my main goal when I meet with you is to get you to do all the things ahead of time before it hits the market, ready to sell. But we list it at a price that you're going to have multiple buyers that are going to want to buy it. Hopefully it goes into contract pretty quickly. And so you're not having to keep it show ready, because that's not how we live. We don't live perfect. Listen, if somebody would walk into my house right now, I have crap everywhere. I absolutely have crap everywhere. I would be embarrassed if somebody walked in my house today, but my house is not on the market. So it is an amazing time to be a seller. There are never enough houses on the market as there are pre-approved buyers ready to write an offer on a house. There are never enough houses for sale. Never, right? So if you're thinking about being a seller and you're ready to be a seller and you're ready to do all the things that you need to do to make sure that your house hits the market, ready to sell at fair market value, and it goes into contract fairly quickly, yes, it sucks to get your house ready. I guarantee you it sucks. I've done it a couple of times. It's not fun, especially if you have little kids. Having little kids in a house for sale is like having Tasmanian devils all over the place, because as you're picking up, they are messing it up, right? I know, I've been there. It's not fun. But we're also human. As a seller, no one is expecting your house to be perfect, but they are expecting that when they walk through, it looks like you have taken great pride in where you live. It is obvious. When a person walks through the back door and you have a new welcome mat and it's clean and the door's not all scratched up and the handle isn't beat to hell, you know, those kinds of things. Listen, when your house is not for sale, you live differently. We're human, we do. Especially if we have children and we have animals and we have all the things. It's not easy. It's not fun, but I guarantee you, if you follow my lead and you do the things I tell you that you need to do to prepare your house to hit the market ready to sell, it shouldn't stay on the market long. It shouldn't stay on the market long, and so keeping it show ready is going to suck for the little while that you have to do it. But if you follow my lead, it should go into contract fairly quickly, and then you can go back to living your life, right? But as a seller, you want someone on your team who is going to guide you through the process step by step by step. Not fun, not easy, but well worth every single bit of hard work and energy that you put into it. The great news is, as a seller, you don't have to do the dealing or negotiating with anybody. You don't have to deal with the inspector. You don't have to deal with the buyer. You don't have to deal with the buyer's agent if they have their own. You don't have to deal with the appraiser. You don't have to deal with the bank. You don't have to deal with anybody. The hardest part of selling a house is preparing it to hit the market ready to go. If you hire a realtor who knows what they're doing, everything else should be up to them. You're just preparing it to hit the market. Another question I get asked all the time is this: how much do you charge? Well, every case is different. Every situation is different. But here's a guarantee. I'm not going to charge you a single penny as a seller. You don't pay me anything up front. I get paid at the closing table when I sell your house. So my commission is coming off the sale price. They're cutting you a check for the remainder, and that's it. That's what happens. So up front, I'm paying for the photographer, I'm paying for the videographer, I'm paying for all the marketing, I'm paying for the staging, I'm paying for all the things. So I'm in the hole up front, and so my absolute goal is to sell your house in the shortest amount of time for the most amount of money possible, because that's how I get paid. All right? So you are paying me nothing up front. So if I don't sell your house, I get zero. Simple as that. So that's why I sell lots and lots and lots of houses, because if I did not, I wouldn't have any money, right? So that's just how it works. So I charge nothing up front. There may be some realtors who charge fees up front. I do not. You do not owe me a penny unless I sell your house, all right? Today's what, Thursday? It's almost time for the weekend. I heard somebody say in the Lake Charles area that they're under a flash flood watch. So if you're on the road today and it's rainy or it's wet, please be careful. Y'all have a great rest of the weekend. And remember this, if you're thinking about being a seller, I absolutely would love to work with you. There are never enough houses for sale, but you must be ready. It's not fun, it's not easy, but I guarantee you it's all worth it at the end, where you hand over those keys to the buyer and you get a check for the proceeds of your house. That's what happens every time. You have a great day, and remember this: as a buyer or as a seller, ask all your hard questions. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. Ask your questions. It's the only way you're going to learn. Y'all have a great day. Take care. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you, real estate related or in any other way, reach out. I'd love to have a conversation with you. You know, I was in education before I was in real estate, so I love teaching people and answering questions. All right? Y'all take care and have a great day.